Hello, I am the Dingus. Hello, Kaizen. Welcome to the game. Oh, please be happy. I saw this on TikTok, and I'm gonna try it out. Also, let's. I think it's fun. Yeah, quick change of outfit just for this game. Why not? This. Well, if you see, Kaizen, this is a cute visual novel demo currently of the game. Please be happy. I saw it on TikTok. I find it interesting. Went to the volume down real quick.
Let's tweak a couple things.
Yes, that. Yeah, I realized. That's why I'm turning it down, like right now. I'm turning it down. I didn't realize it was me this loud. No, it's just new outfit, Kaizen. I had like 2 other outfits presetted on here. That's the voices. No, okay. I have 0 completion on this demo. So welcome. Let's see the voice. Oh, these are the people I'm missing. This. Don't know how long it's gonna be. Is there good horror plot in this? No, it's a dating similar. It's a visual novel dating sim. There's no horror in this, guys. It's a cute dating thing. You play as a Foxgirl looking for love, I think. That's what it was advertised as by the creators on TikTok. So let's start a new game.
I wonder what Wellington will be like.
Let's throw ourselves in there. Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Not everything's a horror game, Kaizen. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropping their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like birds in the trees. No, this is pretty cutesy, I think. In the middle of the forest was a grove. In the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen once one of the proudest trees around, and now, in death, was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro, mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side, like a footpath for fairies. Nearby, an old toad flopped intently in the mud, and inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the traveler sat to take a rest. Whoosh! The scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched the bush rustle as the faint patch of fur appeared within. Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you. They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first there was no reaction, and then, first a snap appeared, quivering as it tested the air, then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several slow steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild curiosity. The stranger sat unfazed, their offering still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaw around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we aren't so different, you and I. The traveler returned the next day, and the day after. Each day they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day the fox's steps grew a little more trusting. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting long?
Yeah, what about it? Uh-huh. The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet. Feet then and there. I can't read. What about it, Kaizen? The traveler sat imprinting into their mind the feeling of wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship. Where's the pictures? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean, Kaizen? Is it not showing up? What's happening?
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too?
I'm sure you're talking about Kaizen.
This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow. Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world. Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too.
That'll be nice, no?
Your home is all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall.
Nice.
Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
What do you mean? My stream itself? Sure. No? Not that bad. All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. Not that bad. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
We've now docked at Wellington Skyport.
Okay then.
Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
Why is there an airplane all of a sudden? The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding. Just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. Why am I in a plane? I wiggled around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for I don't even know how long it's been. Hours? For sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. A parade of footsteps begin to pass by outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. Then it comes. I stand up, push the door open in a single movement. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out in front of. She doesn't have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans. They're always kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendant as I pass her by, and then throw up my hood over my face to cover my face. It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been hard to sneak. It's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway, step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skypark, New Zealand.
I made it!
My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the skyport. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to burrow into the sand and take a nap. But I can't. First I need to Get out of here. And there's one more challenge ahead. Up ahead, this shaking line of passengers split as people are funneled into a few security stations. While I'm too far behind to hear what the guards were saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Humans sure like processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Yeah, no passport. I'm a stowaway, apparently. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window could work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through the security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one after another. And I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As a passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
Passing. He stamps something into the man's booklet and then hands it back to him, and he continues on out to the skyport.
Next.
I don't know what they do to people without any papers, so I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves lots of questions, being escorted around, and other unpleasant stuff. Cautiously approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping the slight distance, with my breathing steady and tail calm. I'm sure part of a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab a useless clunky phone that I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it for me,
Oh, let me get that for you.
and I make a run for it, bolting ahead, rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you wait!
And I'm gone.
Stop!
Bye. I'm off to the races. By the time I realized that what happened, I already have a few seconds of head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of Skyport should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I've got to get them off my tail. Ooh, a map. With one location. Dashing through the Skyport doors and out into the road outside, I don't even have time to take in the city without stopping for breath. I run into the narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I bolt over a low wall into a nearby alley and launch into a crouch. Out of sight, but for only a moment. Close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappear, except for a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. What? I'm worried. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by the far most important. The oddly heavy beads strung around my neck begin to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph first, and the fur— okay, now I get mine. And the fur chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. This sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable. My once human face shifting and lengthening into a snout with some difficulty. The process complete after barely a few seconds. I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. I dart away without a second thought. Far quicker on my 4 legs than I ever could be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human, but instead, I'm able to flit between the gaps without slowing down. I can't read English words.
That's her! I know it!
Oh shit. Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. Damn. His heavy breathing gets further and further away. And in just a minute or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am. It's not like I knew where I was when I started running. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. 10th form? Yes, definitely 10th form. Definitely the 10th form. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything could outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that the danger's past, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. That familiar flowing warmth runs through me again. Oh, I put emphasis on the word warmth like that. My body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, and I open my eyes and glance at my human hands. Let me guess. The hoodie that you always wanted. Again, the Omori hoodie, you know.
Better luck next time.
You know, your favorite Omori hoodie you want to get for the longest time. Brushing the dust off my jacket and hands, I nonchalantly stroll out in the alleyway and back into the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying any attention to me, just the way I like it. Is it sold out still? Dang, bro.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Big sad, big sad. If only it wasn't sold out. Sadly, it is sold out. It is the sad realities of being an Omori fan, where all the Omori merch is always sold out, non-stop. Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there, I pick. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. Then, wow, I can't. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard another pair of travelers talking about it, and how beautiful the city is. With a moment now to take in the scenery, I can see they weren't wrong. Yeah, I don't know then. An external hard drive, finally, so you can play Genshin Impact. That's pretty expensive. I don't think you have enough for that. Probably you're finished. I guess maybe either that or... Yeah, I doubt you have enough to buy that. It's like $400, so I don't know. So either external hard drive or so, I don't know, guys. Tell me. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. Yeah, approximately. Really, don't buy what I think you're gonna buy, guys. I don't think it's worth it just for the one thing. Okay. Yeah, okay, so. Okay, that's what I was hoping you were gonna get, not the other thing. Don't tell me. You're gonna have to tell me eventually, though. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills. Now I look around some. Where the fuck am I? A switch. For a Mori. Yeah. Don't, Kaizen, I really don't recommend getting a Switch just for a Mori. Yeah, you don't. There's a lot better things to get a Switch for. If you're showing it a Mori, don't do it just for a Mori. Do it for like other games as well, obviously, but like, you know. Just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in this direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when convenient. Why? You don't have anything to use it on yet. What's the point? But why? You don't need any. You can't use it. You can't even use any right now. Yeah, but you can't. You don't have emotes. I know, but you don't have any emotes yet. Like, you don't have any emote slots for, no. Doesn't you need affiliate for emotes? If you, like, upload emotes to your channel? You need to be an affiliate. You need to be an affiliate, Kaislin. Yeah, that's what I mean. What's the point? Oh. You think life is easy, but it's not easy, and therefore you are sadding. You are doing a playing 85 sad. You do be doing a playing 85 sad. Anyways. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past. But when I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Okay, fine. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge into what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are bright, colorful signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. My shopping around here. There are stores with food, with clothes, and with just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Not a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll have to remember where this place is and make another visit later. After all the shops are closed. Then a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity to zip over and snatch it up. Try and open the black leather pockets I find.
Score!
A couple of bills and what I figure is a local currency. I set the money out and into a pocket of my jacket. By now the man is so far ahead it's almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him to give him back his wallet, and he barely even says thank you.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
Probably. You know, might as well return the wallet. There's important stuff in there, like ID, maybe his bus pass, I don't know. It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have even gotten it back without me. I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy. Nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
Thanks. Yep, 15. Great job, mijo. 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well. At least this should be enough. At least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get better of me, as I haven't had anything since I snuck into the airship. I thought I'd read that wrong for a second, but it doesn't start to the airship. Lol. Following my nose, I walk down the busy streets until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above Its front door has a picture with a bell on it. A charming little chime rings out from above the door as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing cool air washing over me, which is all the better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Very cute. The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. The nodding greeting, and she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in the other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one.
A what now?
Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only
The
5.
fuck's an affogato?
I'd like a...
The fuck's an affogato? I'm not sure what an affogato. Oh, me too. Me too. I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that a vegetable? No, wanting to commit to the strange sounding drink, I look at the menu instead. I think you're thinking of an avocado, which is a fruit? Maybe? I don't know, I haven't a clue. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't read a single word, and there are no help but pictures. Safe option it is.
I'll just have a vanilla latte.
I love those. I love French vanilla, specifically.
Ugh, boring. But okay. Name?
Rude.
Miho.
Miho. Miho. It's my first time testing out how that name sounds. I decided that I like it. I decided on the airship that that was the name I would use when in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. Just drew up something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
$4.50. I hand her the brown bill and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
Alright. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
Poggers. Why a boat? She sure seems enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working, looking about somewhere to sit. I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack, a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets. I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. This cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere there, on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs on them. Feels like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it, more comfortable to me than places without. Is fair? You are a fox.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Important. I don't want to sleep in the streets. Looking down at the map I traced the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but it doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I need to find a high vantage point. I move my fingers along the hills I noticed from outside, following a little brown path to a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now.
Miho!
My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks!
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow? Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
Eh? I glance behind me, out the window. It's as sunny as and blue a day as I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
That's ominous, lady. She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. People are weird. Does the barista pull that one on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip. Just sip one.
Oh, this is really good.
Poggers. It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. I've been itching for a change of scenery anyways, so I boarded, well, not gone to, the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes on your back is that I can pick up and leave wherever I feel like. I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, and pat their face in a couple times, and then go inside. That'll be you soon, when you go to your job. Not a suitcase, though, because I don't think you're gonna use a suitcase for your job. They must not be looking forward to whatever is going to happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone. Though the large glass windows of another store. Though the large glass windows of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. People waiting with her look annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in such a busy city. Eventually, I go to sip my coffee, and I find nothing coming out. No reason to stick around. It's time to go. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one in the map. It'd be it'd be a perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my head, I set off to the long walk to the summit. I can't read. Oh. Now playing sketchbook. The path on the mountain turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, a trail takes me along the waterfront, then it turns upwards through a small forested area. Being among the trees and their tall shadows make me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up to a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yards or jump unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming to dock in the skyport. Probably from one of the other floating islands. Floating islands? Okay, that's surprising. There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually I reach the final stretch of road. I can see where it curves ahead to the summit. I hurry to the end. Jog. Metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatty tourists pass me by.
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Interesting. What is this?
Mount Victoria.
Mount Victoria. I'm glad to know that what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm greeted to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set. That makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of the floating island we're on, miles out open sky. I started the city using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than humans. Then I noticed something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. Film is helping him aim it at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to them first. When I press my eyes to the same spot the child did, though all I see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. What's that? Is this thing busted? The text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot, though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Lucky for me, it's the coin that has a 50 on it. I put the coin that I received from the barista into the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, and then, when I put my eyes to it again,
Yes!
I can see. Everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. I am in the viewing glass city and look around, trying to find a good spot to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go, even if they look empty or abandoned. You never let your guard down for a minute. With most shops, I don't even have money for a hotel. I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the site, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again, view goes blank. Stupid machine. I smack it a couple times and check again, but I can't see anything.
Well, whatever.
While even just fresh in my mind, I sit down at a nearby bench and pull out a pencil and some crumpled paper from my pocket. I always carry a few with me. I sort through them until I find one that's still blank. Using my knee as a table, oh of course, hello. Knee as a table, I sketch out the view before me. The trees, the curve of the bay, the building far below. Really? That's really sad. I don't know how to fix that for you. You never know what information will be useful later. I add more detail on my drawing of the bigger, more important building. Others are just represented with a simple, rough square. Don't punch your screen. You need that screen. The view is pretty, that's for sure. It doesn't really help much though. Once I'm confident I've jotted down everything I need to, I carefully fold the paper and put it back in my pocket.
Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
Head back down to the trail a little bit and veer off of it into the underbrush. Through the underbrush. We're in the underbrush
Not
again.
perfect, but it'll do.
We're here again. Hello, welcome back to the underbrush. It's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems pretty cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find places far from other people. A place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but usually good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck gets warm as the beads activate. A few seconds later, I'm on all fours. The fox, the sensation of nature, are much stronger. The earth beneath my paw is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my fur like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water and follow the scent of a small stream where I'm able to parch my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at the cafe, but in a different way. And being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw or, worse, one of those stupid lids with tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants. That'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream, searching for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on most sides and thick foliage on the other. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noises, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. It's more such a dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. First I dig forward, and then downwards, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body. But this is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much. Compared to sleeping inside somewhere, it just feels right to me. Ooh, look at my den. Gotta go. It takes a little while, and by the time I finished, the first few stars have started to peek up in the sky. I shake myself clean of the dirt that sticks to my coat, and then transform back to my human form.
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If I weren't looking for it, I don't think I'd notice anything on the place. All that digging has made me work up an appetite, and not the kind that'd be satisfied with just a few berries.
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
That is concerning. Letting you were stowed away on an airship, so I get that makes sense. My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I head off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food!
I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, and that all the stores would be closed. Turns out I was half right. A lot of the stores have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there was earlier. In fact, there might even be more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. The mermaid is sitting on the fountain, and the fountain I sat by earlier, playing with Cyclops. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I get caught stealing. I'd just escape, obviously. And even if they somehow managed to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good for being a thief. It's not just the skills I practiced over the years, like picking locks and sneaking around. No. It's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic, that's all. That's all I know about it. Really useful magic. Anywhere I go, no matter how careless I am. Oh. Okay then. Alright. Yeah. Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all my problems are solved for the next day. That doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before and or harassed before. I can't manage to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going. Sorry. If someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. That almost makes things too easy. Right now, I could be smarter. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later in the dead of night. But that there are no people around. I'll be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about me. Quick escape. More than that, though. I walk proudly up and down the street, glancing into windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores who have customers inside, others help lock their doors and shut off the lights. Most of the restaurants are still open, and they're only making me hungrier. Sneaking from restaurants is a bit much, even for me. Though I've heard it before, but the cluttered kitchens, as well as tables and chairs, make it hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot and sharp things, frankly, hooks to throw at you as you try to make your way out. Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friend. Things that I can grab multiples of at once and tuck in my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches and salads. Or sometimes really good hot food that gets thrown away. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a little bit. It's not perfect, of course, but it's a hot meal. A hot meal. I don't think a Fox's would have been much worse.
Target spotting.
That's six. It's perfect. Small convenience store. Snacks lined up behind the front counter. Even better. The stores on the other side are closed too. There's not many other people in the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
I head down a nearby alleyway to find a back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad like always, for my excellent night vision. Nobody's watching. Nobody's even around. I pull my hood up over my ears and tuck my tail behind my legs, leaning against the sturdy door. To anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I would appear as nothing more than a shadow. I dig through my pocket until I find my trusty lockpick and set to work on the door. It isn't a complicated lock at all. It's a regular keyhole. The click, the latch springs open just a few short moments later.
Bingo. Huh?
I try to tug the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit the gap, but it would be easy for a fox. First I sneak away for a bit, hiding on a nearby street like a regular pedestrian. I want to see if anyone shows up, just in case I trigger the security system. After about 10 minutes, I decided to save. I transform under the cover of darkness and out into the alley, slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes, soda, candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and shove them into my pockets. When I creep into the main area, make sure to stay low to the ground and avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coats as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn. I'm not very picky. When a coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into there. I also take a few bottles of water and sports drinks from the cooler. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those coveted plastic wrapped sandwiches I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot!
I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, then head back out the way I came in. In total, I was in and out in under 5 minutes, and I got enough supplies to last me several days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, make sure no one saw me emerge from the store. If anyone, when my neck prickles as if someone's watching me. I sniff the air, but don't notice anything anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still, suddenly there's a flap of wings. A bat flutters past me from out of the shadows. It goes right over my head and disappears from sight up to the streets.
Oh, that's it?
Apparently it was just a bat. Good to know. I let out the breath I'd been holding and start making my way back towards the mountain where I made my den. I let the bag swing from my arms as I walk, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day.
It sure wasn't, Miho.
I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
Sure do. I've been plenty of I can't read. There've been plenty of days in my life where I had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches that I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
Yes, hard stolen work. Stolen sandwiches. I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpack everything that I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox, then dig another hole near the entrance of my den. This one's much simpler and shallower, and I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them back up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry.
Always important. Never know what.
I stole this myself, after all.
That's fair.
Don't want it being stolen from me.
Yep. That makes sense. Stuff like my pen and my favorite block go into the burrow with me, since I like having them close by. Once I've got everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here, I have a perfect view of the stars. I look up at this clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all the people way down on the underworld.
Can they even see the stars from there?
I'm learning a lot of lore. That's a lot of lore. There's underworld, floating islands, airships, animal people. I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. threat. I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out of the burrow's entrance. The sky is already dark, foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds above the trees outside my den, their branches shaking into the strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right.
He was right. It's gonna rain. And it did rain. I climb up the tunnel and out into the open, sniffing the air. It just tells me what I already know. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, the scent plays on my nose, one so faint that I almost brush it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm wrong. There's no way that. Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area, and then decide I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Yes, someone's definitely been here. But the scent isn't human, it's vaguely familiar. But at the same time, not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night, not right outside my den.
Are they watching me sleep?
That's creepy.
Oh crap!
As a fox, I dive back into my hole and make sure everything is still in there. My heart pounds in my chest. But nothing appears to be missing. I also check the spot where I buried my stash from last night. But that hasn't been disturbed either. I breathe a sigh of relief. If thinking my stuff had been stolen, I'd be mad. I'd be so mad. But that doesn't answer my question as of what they did want. And that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone's there to sneak up on me, then I have to be impressed. Impressed and a little bit worried. I've got a more pressing issue right now, and I stare up at the sky in disappointment.
Ugh, I hate the rain.
I love the rain though. I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I had known this would happen. Instead, both burrows would probably just be piles of mud by the end of the day.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
I guess so. I guess we should have. I fill my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrapped as tightly in that plastic bag as I can and bury them in my den. Hoping I can find somewhere fast and then move everything else over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect, or some other place where I'd be able to hide. After finishing packing up, I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overhead catches my attention. I expected it to be a bird, but instead, it's yet another bat. This one's even bigger than the one I saw last night. It's supposed to way longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. Some people say bats are foxes are similar. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the city.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
Yes, let's just follow a bat. A couple of times, and it disappears between the trees or just too far ahead, but I always manage to catch back up. Back in here. Eventually, we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here, and other people are walking around. Most of them look up to the sky nervously though, and everyone seems to be in a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
There. Most people seem to be going in the direction I was headed than anywhere else, so I stick to that. By now, my winged guide is almost out of sight again. There's a little black speck in the sky flying into the distance. Further up this road, there's a slope that leads to a big, fancy-looking building. It doesn't look like a shop or a restaurant, at least not one that I've ever seen. But there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. It's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere dry to spend time, and maybe I can learn something useful. Plus, places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find something to fund my next few days. After all, the bigger the target, the less likely they are to notice something's missing. The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Generally stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Books on shelves, books on tables, books on floor, books everywhere! This place even smells of musty old paper, and the dozens of or so people inside are mostly leafing through the pages in the aisles. The odd silence about the building is striking, given how many are around. It doesn't look like a shop, so I assume that this must be a library. I've heard of them, but I've never been in one. No point, because I can't read at all. But it's warm and cozy, and very dry. So it'll do just fine. The desk near the entrance with a computer on it, I assume would be where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. Take a seat on an empty chair nearby and sit back just to observe for a bit. There are plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Lots of empty, unwatched spaces. Most folks seem to be here alone. We're in a small group that keep to themselves. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispers. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules just by being here. Behind the desk, there's a hallway leading deeper into the building, and I peek around the corner to see what's back there. All I see are some shut doors and, at the very back, a staircase. After glancing around to make sure no one's watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple of doors. All of them are locked. I could probably pick them if I wanted. No sense trying to do that now, though. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless. Not even worth the trouble of stealing. At least it's got a roof. I didn't read the rest of that. I'm dumb. I do spot a couple of promising items. Just like I said, of old coins and memorize the locations. I wander back into the main area where I came in. Outside it hasn't started raining yet, but it's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, and then even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, I can probably wait out the rain here. But ugh, I pour abandoned snacks back at the den. What a waste. I can't do anything about it now, though. I should keep looking around. I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I pretend to inspect a few books, taking them off the shelves and flipping through the pages, but I'm actually mapping out the place mapping the place out in my head. Doors, windows, and potential places to hide. Think of that. Most of the time, this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been at least a few decades since I've had to make a dramatic escape from anywhere. At this point, plotting an escape route is just a habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with the locked doors and off-limits hallways, there are lots of nooks and crannies that would make a good hiding spot. Especially as a fox. In the thick dust that coats a lot of these areas, I could tell they don't get a whole lot of visitors. If I'm careful, I might be able to go a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can get in and out of the building easily, and with huge windows that line the back, well, that seems easy enough too. I weave around a couple shelves that are taller than I am, heading for the far back corner, around the corner of the last aisle, just to make sure I'm alone. But I'm not. At a small table by the window sits a woman with a small book in her hand, resting against her fingers. She's perfectly still, but her mouths the words on the page as she reads. She's tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expression has the distinct look of someone way off in their own world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace that I think she must belong in that other world. She's beautiful and elegant in the same way as a painting. The light from the window shining on her like a display. I duck back behind the bookshelf, pressing my one hand on my racing heart. The other bumps against one of the books on the shelves and falls with a dusty thump. Cursing my clumsiness, I silently back away in case she decides to investigate. But she doesn't leave her chair.
I suppose it's nothing.
Cursing, well, that's the thing. She turns and gazes out the open window. At what? I don't know. A moment later, she returns to her book and leaves this world again. I stay hidden, my face still burning a little bit. I think this will be the perfect place to spend some time. Suddenly there's a much louder boom than the one I caused. A thunder rumbles outside. A few people around the library startle, sound, and look around. Sigh, and the girl in the chair closed the window beside her, closed the first drop of the rain falling not a minute later. I'll investigate the window later. Right now I don't want to bother her. So I head back to one of the plush chairs on the other side of the library and take a seat. I could be here for a while. How long the rain lasts, so I may as well get comfy. I find a few books that have more pictures than words and curl up in one of the soft chairs to flip through them. There aren't as many of those ones. I go through the stacks pretty fast. It takes long enough for the rain to start. So the longer I read, the louder the pounding. The rain and the howling of the wind become. Guess it's not letting up anytime soon. I can't complain though. This library is pretty cozy by my usual standards. Warm and safe, and nobody tells me to go away. I have enough snacks. More than once I get up and walk around the library again, even though I've got most of it memorized by now. Take note of things like a child's stuffed toy that's lying on the floor for one section, or the thin blanket that's stuffed between a bookshelf and the wall. On my third or fourth trip around, I finally find something that I've been looking for. In one of the far corners, totally opposite from where I saw the reading girl earlier, a single chair, a small table. On the wall nearby is a portrait. The painting itself is of a girl with light brown hair, but I barely pay attention to that. What I'm interested in is the frame. It's lovely. It looks like it might be made out of gold. It really shines like it. Carved intricately into the shape of waves flowing up and down. Maybe worth something. I plan to pay much attention to it as I make my way back to my table. There are too many people around for me to be able to try and sneak it out. It's too big to fit under my jacket without being obvious. That just means I'll have to come back some other time. Maybe once this place is closed. The hours pass by and the storm continues, and I'm kind of disappointed about losing the whole day. Especially so soon after arriving, but it's not like I'm in any hurry. Hat one in my pockets, feeling the familiar and reassuring weight of my paper scroll that's tucked away. The scroll is the only thing close to a purpose that I have. It's not particularly urgent, or at least I don't have any way to deal with it faster. I spent a long time reading. It's almost afternoon when I go up and check the windows again. The rough weather outside continues as, at this rate, I'll be sleeping in a puddle of mud tonight. Unless... A quick check shows that a lot of the other library patrons have left. Not empty, but it's not nearly as full as earlier. I guess someone decided it was worth braving the rain. Looking as nonchalantly as I can, I get up from my seat and pretend to browse again. Slowly moving through the shelves. The reading girl is gone now, though she's not what I was looking for. I pick up the dropped toy and blanket that I spotted earlier, and then head to one of the out of the way hiding spots and picked out earlier. It's on the floor, between a shelf and the wall, but a bit of carpet to help me make it softer. Even better, it's between two corner shelves, meaning it's practically out of sight. If you're not looking for it. I wiggle my way between the furniture and lie down, using the toy as a pillow, draping the blanket over me. Toss and turn a few times before finally settling down.
Yep, not bad at all.
I love you, you're so cute. Even though I haven't done much today, I'm always down to take a nap. I can pass a few hours by sleeping, wake up once it's dark, and then grab the picture frame and be on my way. I'll have to rebuild my den once I get back, but that's a problem for future me. I yawn, staring up at the ceiling until my eyes get heavy.
Maybe today won't be a total waste after all.
Right. Huh? The soft sound of cloth rustling wakes me from a dreamless sleep. How did someone sneak up on me twice now? I don't even know how long it's been. The sky outside has darkened significantly, and now the stars twinkle outside the window. There's no time to react as the sound comes closer. I hear no footsteps, but suddenly a woman steps into view. Her clothes are pure white, making her stand out like a ghost in the night in the dark library. Her cape rustles again as she reaches towards one of the shelves. One of the shelves I'm hiding behind, to be precise. Gingerly, she moves two books to the side and then slides another book into the space she created. She handles them like precious treasures that might break if she's too rough. I stay perfectly still, afraid to even breathe in case she notices me. My heart beats wildly as she slowly and deliberately looks over the shelf, examining their titles before taking a book. In the second lowest row, through the gaps she creates in the shelves, through the gaps she creates in the shelves, our eyes meet in the darkness. Oh no! I tense up as she steps towards the shelves between us to get a better look at me, preparing myself to leap away if the need arises, and carefully memorized layout of the library flashes through my mind as I frantically plot the best way to flee. Even as I prepare my escape, I can see her taking in everything about me. The stolen blanket, the makeshift pillow, my general disheveled appearance. A few moments are off and I brace myself for the verbal attack that's sure to come.
Hello there. May I ask why you're sleeping on the floor?
It doesn't matter what I say. Distract her enough to get away.
I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
I thought so.
She leans down and offers me a hand. I look at it warily. I don't take it, but I slowly stand, letting the blanket fall to my feet, trying to suddenly get it in position to run.
Well, I have an extra room on the second floor that you're welcome to borrow, if you'd prefer that. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to remain here, on the ground. I apologize for waking you.
With a smile, the oddly calm woman steps away and busies herself organizing another row of books. She probably expects me to let my guard down and take her offer. The stranger, the one who broke into her library. There's no reason for you to treat me kindly. My years of experience, and there are plenty of those. Tell me, crap.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'll just be going, actually. Sorry to bother you like this.
I hurry past her, shoulders tense as I expect her to grab me or try to stop me. She doesn't, though. The one time I glance back, she's watching me, with a strange expression that I don't recognize. When I get outside, away from the library, I breathe a sigh of relief.
Whew, that was close. I'm not falling for that one again.
Last time I let someone feel sorry for me, accepted a place to stay, I woke up to them trying to empty my wallet. I may be a thief, But at least I do it honestly. I wouldn't try to trick someone like that. That was the first time someone tried to fool me and take advantage of me either.
Still, it's a shame to lose such a nice hiding place.
Really is. Really is.
Maybe I'll give it a couple days for that woman to forget about me, and then try again. If she wasn't lying about there being an empty room on the second floor, then maybe I could sneak into there.
Be nice. Tonight though, I'm on my way, on my own. Shivering, I wrap my coat and tail tightly around myself as I think about what to do next. Winter has stopped, although it's still cold and cloudy. My stomach grumbles since I haven't eaten anything other than the snacks all day.
Blech.
I may as well just get it over with and go check on the status of my den.
Well, it could be worse.
Could be worse. It's not as bad as I expected, which is a pleasant surprise.
What's the little mine? It'll be just fine.
Yeah. I swapped my fox form to pot around the entrance. The entrance has caved in a little, but after I scoop that out, I find that the rest of the tunnel and the main room are relatively intact. Cold as hell, but intact. It seems the trees protected the den from a lot of the rain. It takes me a while to find the spot where I buried my stash, since the stick I used to mark the spot got washed away. Eventually, I locate it though, and start digging. The cold mud makes my paws dirty and sore. A little fleck covers my fur. After I finally reach the soggy plastic bag. I shake myself clean before opening them. Some water has seeped through, and I open the spoiled items before tossing them away. I'm not too picky, but I have plenty of other snacks to choose from.
Eat up, birdies!
A few of them scoop down to inspect the offerings. I scarf down a quick meal of cookies and unwanted soup. Along with some of the cold water from the steam. At least the water is satisfying. Then, even though I just woke from my nap not too long ago, I shift back into my fox form and crawl into my den and curl up. I'm sure it'll be a while before I fall asleep, but I don't feel like going back into town. I've got enough excitement for one day. This isn't all that bad. Regular foxes without magic powers have it way worse than I do. Although back then a fox was all I was. I wouldn't have really cared. This year, I'm not sure what it was that makes me different. I used to be just like them. No desire to go beyond the forest or anything. Then one day, I became whatever I am now. All I had was my necklace, small scroll that I can't read, and the memory of the person who had given it to me. And they were so kind to me, that stranger in the forest. They wished me well then, though I was an ordinary fox. Let's save. I'm trying to save. I can't save. I'm gonna attempt to save this one time. Lol. Somehow, that doesn't seem to matter to them. I never even knew their name, just their face and their voice. But I know that I'll recognize them when I see them again. It's just a matter of finding them. So since then, I've been looking around and surviving. Looking for them is what keeps me going. I have to live for. If I wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be. If I wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be doing. I guess I'd be surviving, but if that was just the only thing, I think I'd rather stick fox. Back real quick. we're back. The gaming. Being gay into crime. Sitting outside my den in human form, I take stock of how things stand. Sun's thankfully out this morning, but everything remains damp. From the ground to the muggy air itself. The chill on the breeze is the worst, making me shiver every time it hits me. The Bell House was pleasant when I visited a couple of days ago, so I decided to head down towards the main street to get coffee there, while working out my next moves. Coming to the door of the cafe, I pause and wipe my feet on the mat outside. Human fascination with surrounding themselves in concrete makes a little more sense as I work the mud off my feet. With that, I finally head inside, only to stop in my tracks as the door shuts behind me. Standing behind the counter is the same girl who I saw reading in the library yesterday. Talking with a customer, and she takes their order. That gentle aura about her is unmistakable. The person in front of me finishes their order, and I step up to the counter.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bell House.
Hello.
What can I make for you today?
Happy.
Oh, hi. I'll have...
Happy. That's what you can make me. Well, a vanilla latte? No, that's boring.
What do you recommend? I want to try something new.
I'm glad you asked.
Eh.
I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our Fairy Kiss chillers.
Yes?
It's one of our signature drinks, with a vanilla gelato base and a mint chocolate chip swirl.
Ooh, actually sounds really... That sounds actually good. Cool. Sure. I was planning to get something warm, but... That does sound pretty good.
Okay. Give me one of those then.
Perfect. And could I get your name, please?
It's Miho.
Miho. He scribbles something onto the cup and finishes it with a big flourish.
I'll have that right out for you.
Thanks.
What do I owe you? No, there it is. I pay and then go back to take the same seat as before, next to one of the windows. It's pretty empty in here again, so I can sit wherever I want. Before the barista starts making my drink, I spot her writing something else down in a little notebook. She gets in my way once or twice while she does, but I pretend not to notice. I wonder what it is. The barista yesterday didn't write anything down. Anyways, I got more important things on my mind. I mull over the plan which forms as I walked here, becoming increasingly happy with it. Tonight, I've already decided I'm going to sneak back into that library. Between that picture frame and some other trinkets I saw, I should be able to bill for enough to fund my next few days in Wellington. Finding somewhere to sell it should be easy part. I've got a dozen excuses that I can recite about where the items came from. Dead grandma, spring cleaning, new renovation. Sometimes I try extra hard and pretend that the things I'm selling are really special to me and earn a bit more cash that way. Sometimes I just take whatever they give me. After years of watching other humans do it and trying it out myself, I'm gotten good at pawning items off. I find myself idling, watching the barista make my drink. While I do, I practice a disarming smile. All of her movements are quick and practiced, but she has the same faraway look in her eyes that I noticed yesterday. She looks up and her eyes meet. I look away, and she turns pink before ducking away behind a machine out of sight.
Huh. Weird girl.
I turn my head around to look around the cafe, and a butterfly outside catches my attention. I watch that instead. It flutters back and forth, landing on a flower, resting its wings.
Miho!
Oh, my coffee is ready. I quickly get up and skip over to the counter. Cup in hand, she starts to head over to give it to me. But then several things happen at once. One, the little tassels in her pocket in her apron, catches on one of the drawers behind the counter. She jerks us to a stop, eyes wide with surprise. And my drink tumbles out of her hand, landing on the counter with a wet clomp sound as the ice cream splats against it, sending mint green rivers of coffee everywhere. A few seconds pass where we just look at each other. Neither of us quite sure what to do. And then she takes a deep breath.
I am so sorry. I'll make you a replacement right away. Just give me 1 second and I'll have that ready for you.
Her words spill out faster than the beverage, making it hard to even understand what she was saying. She says bright red as she spins back around and grabs another empty cup. She then stops, hands hovering awkwardly.
Wait, I should clean this up before it dries and starts to go bad.
She hurries back to the mess, wiping at it with some napkins. She mops up as much as she can with one hand, then leaves the sloppy paper on the counter while she starts to remake my drink.
I'm really sorry. This is such an embarrassment.
Oh, you're so cute. I don't even know if she's talking to me or herself. I freeze up for a second, looking for an appropriate response to an apology. I'm not used to people apologizing to me.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Instead, I just sit back down at one of the tables and watch. She makes the drink twice as fast and even carries it even slower, closing, setting it onto the clean spot. This time, she takes a deep breath before speaking, as she's afraid she's gonna mess that up too.
All right, here's your drink. Again, I'm very sorry. This is your first time here, isn't it? I hope it doesn't leave a bad impression.
Second, actually. Yesterday was the first time. How'd you know?
I make an effort to remember as many of our customers as I can, as well as their favorite orders.
Ah, that's cute.
I believe you can learn a lot about a person from how they drink their coffee.
Well, that's too bad for her, because she doesn't remember me the next day. I take a big sip of the drink she made for me. It's creamy and rich and sweet and all the same way, all at the same time.
Whoa, this is really good.
Fucking poggers.
It's kind of like a milkshake, but not. But it's not like coffee either.
Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Those eyes. Those eyes. Those eyes.
Yes, exactly. I'm very glad that you like it. It's one of my favorite beverages that we serve.
Those eyes.
In fact, the recipe was my idea.
Ooh, poggers.
Whoa! They should put you in charge of all the recipes.
She smiles again. Seems like she's gotten over the crisis of the spilled drink already.
Thank you. I'll make you another one of my favorites next time, if you'd like.
Totally.
At least I'll know what to order next time, even though I'll have been forgotten. I'm already thinking of this place as my go-to coffee shop. Especially since it's in a convenient area. With tasty drinks and cute baristas, I don't even have a reason. I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. A knocking sound from the employee area gets both of their attention.
Hey, Aspen, can you set another batch of croissants?
Ooh, Aspen, that's a cute name.
Oh, sure. I'll be right there.
It's cute, I like it. She calls back over her shoulder and then looks back at me briefly.
Have a nice day, Miho.
You too.
With a wave, she gathers the trash from the cleanup, throws it that way throws that away before disappearing into the back. So her name is Aspen. It's a pretty name. I'll have to try and remember that. Getting up from my seat, I decide to head back outside for some fresh air, sleeping my fairy kiss chiller as I go. I head out the door and onto the increasingly busy main street. I already know my plan for tonight, but I've still got some time to kill before that. What should I do? What should I do? Choices. Welcome to the world of Please Be Happy. On this map, you can select locations to visit and spend time in. Just take note, though, most locations will pass time. How you experience the story will be up to you. Events that will pass time will be marked with clock. Some events will only show up at certain times and often on certain routes. For today, you can see all the events, but in the future, you have to pick and choose how you spend your time here. Okay, let's see. Main story library, kill time until night. Side story, Oriental Bay, explore the beach. Mountain Victoria, explore Mount Victoria. Go my den. Cool. Mount Victoria is just time. Oh, cool. That menu. That's quick save. Dude, I like. Get some water real quick because I ran out of water already. Lol. I drink so much. Hydrate. Water in hand. Patient. Nope, I got my headphones. Oh, put that back in. Water in hand. We're gaming. Okay, so where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? All these both these pass time. Cupid Street. I'm already here, right? Go to Cupid Street. What happens? I see the perp returns to the scene of the crime. Head back to the main streets. Weird. This is only that way. So I'll head back to the main streets. By the looks of it, the store I swiped from is the same as always. The person sweeping in the front of the store doesn't seem a little bit stressed. I never steal enough for it to be too noticeable, but it's always a point of pride when the place looks the same as always next day. Smile creeps on my face as I pass by, snacking on the chocolate bar I took from their shelves. Lol. Alright, let's see. Go to the beach. It's not far from the Bell House to the beach, so I decided to head down there. Passing through the city streets, I recognized some of this area from my first day here, when I was running from the Skyport guard.
Whew. Glad that guard chased me in this direction, or I'd have never found the Bell House.
That's right. And really, that's been the highlight of Wellington so far. The Bell House. We love it. Cool. When I get down on the beach, I take a moment to enjoy the salty sea air. From this level, it's impossible to tell where the ocean ends and the open sky begins. Actually, the Skyport from where I am. With a few older ships anchored in a harbor close by. While I'm admiring the view, a worried-looking lady comes up and waves for my attention.
Hi, I'm looking for my son. He's about this tall and wearing a red sweater. His name's Tommy. Have you seen him?
Nope. I haven't seen anyone like that. I just got here.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, poor lady. Looking for her son. Walking away in a hurry, looking right and left as she goes to ask someone else.
Humans sure do have it rough.
Sure do. If they can't smell or even hear most things, it's a wonder they don't get lost even more often. I amble along the waterfront, watching all the people as I go. Like Cuba Street, there's a lot going on. Under a nearby bridge, a group of 3 mermaids are racing each other. Close to the bridge are a bunch of people fishing with a stressed-looking guy running back and forth between them. Next to a boarded-up market stall and some big crates, I noticed something weird. What the fuck are you? There's a fable with a big flower on their head. It spins like a propeller. They're using it to drift in a small circle around about something near the craters. I can't read. I have to check it out, of course. Nobody else pays enough attention. I wander over and take a look. The fable stops spinning as I approach and gives me a helpless look, but doesn't say anything. On the other side of the crates, out of sight from the path, there's a little boy sitting on the ground with his back to one of the wooden boxes.
Are you Tommy?
The kid jumps, really surprised. Oops! He scrambled up and looks at me with wide eyes.
How'd you know? Your mom's looking for you. She seemed pretty worried.
The expression goes from surprise to sullen real quick.
I don't care. I don't want to go with her.
That's rude.
Why not? Why are you over here instead?
'Cause I'm hiding.
Why?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Why? It's a pretty crummy hiding spot. I mean, it's totally open to three sides. I didn't say that, of course. Instead, I look up at the fable floating overhead. It looks almost as glum as Tommy.
Who's that?
That's Jerby! You mean you can see him?
Derby.
I can. Is that weird?
Mom and Dad can't see him. They think I'm just making him up. He doesn't talk, but he's real.
There is. Derby waves from up high.
He kinda gave away your hiding spot. I saw him from the road.
Mom can't see him, and that's all that matters.
Why?
Why are you hiding from her?
Why?
'Cause
Tommy sits back down and scratches out the dirt with a rock. Guess he doesn't want to talk about it. I'm always happy to end a conversation.
Well, good luck.
I start to walk away. He doesn't seem like he's a dandy nature. I don't want to get blamed from hiding in the first place.
hey, wait a minute.
Nani. I turn around. He's already standing up again.
Are you gonna go tell her where I am?
Perfect answer. His eyes get huge again.
Tommy, there you are.
You did this to yourself. And I have to turn around again. Turn. This time it's the woman from earlier. Number 4. She's already flying past me. Over to Tommy.
Are you okay? What were you doing? Don't you ever run off like that again. Oh, I'm just glad you're safe though.
Voice goes up. The voice goes up and down, between relieved and angry. Just Tommy in a tight hug, but he's just staring forward, glumly. Jerby is flying in distressed circles again. Finally, the lady turns to me.
You found him, right? Thank you so much. I was so worried.
No problem.
I didn't really do anything. I did find him, but so did she. She's not thinking about it that
Come
much.
on, Tommy, let's go home. We'll talk about this there. No, I'm not going. That's not home.
My ears! Flinch as he yells. He stomps his foot on the ground and makes his point.
Tommy, sweetie. Home is where it's you, me, and Dad. Not that apartment.
Divorce?
That's still your home too. But this, it's like your second home now.
Divorce?
No, it isn't! Not without you, it's not!
Divorce? It's not like a divorce situation.
Do you and Dad really have to get
Tommy, who was already sniffling, can't keep from breaking down and crying as he throws his arms around his mom and hugs her back.
I don't want you to go!
Sad divorce hour, Leslie. I get the impression that I should probably leave. Normally I'm happy to be nosy and listen in on things, but right now it seems kind of awkward. Neither of the humans notice me leave, but the fable sadly waves goodbye as I head off. I wonder what makes him stick around. I've never seen a fable like him before. Not being able to be seen by certain people sure sounds awful though. Useful though, I can't read. I don't have to go far before the sounds of Tommy and his mom talking are drowned out by the noise of the waterfront. I usually fit into the crowd of people milling around, being able to live a life that no one notices is close enough to being invisible. I'm pretty lucky that I don't even have to have those kinds of tearful conversations or panic about someone missing. No, being part of that crowd is just perfect for me. I'm a lonely person, apparently. Lonely fox. I stand at the concrete and admire the ocean until I've had my fill, and then I start wandering again. Oh, that was is evening, not nighttime yet. So it's time for the Mount Victoria. I've spent plenty of time. I have plenty of time to kill, and almost plenty of restless energy. I decided to go for a walk up Mount Victoria, just to give myself something to do. I took the long way up this time, instead of taking a bunch of shortcuts like usual. It winds through neighborhoods and then back out again, with only the occasional car passing by on the street. Compared to some of the other cities I've been in lately, the air here is a lot cleaner. The smell of nature shines through. They can't compare to being out in the wild, for real, of course, but it gets to not be choked by exhaust fumes everywhere I go. The houses are weird, though. Many of them sit up on tall legs, like giant bugs with windows for eyes. More people see be coming down the mountain than going up. Lots of them zip past on bikes or skateboards, while others are jogging or just walking.
This path is longer than I thought.
There is. About halfway up or so, there's a wooden bench just off the sidewalk. It's occupied by a man with dark hair and big sunglasses. As I'm about to pass by, he waves.
Well, hello, miss. Nice evening for a walk, eh?
Sure is. Huh? You talking to me? He must be. There's no one else nearby. Chatting is usually not my thing, but for the moment I appreciate the distraction.
It sure is. I'm glad the rain's gone.
Oh, for now, yeah. It's never gone for long, though, is it?
That's so. I'm new here. I didn't even think it would rain since it was so sunny the day before.
Ho ho ho! You've gotta watch out for that around here. Mother Nature's real fickle these days.
You have to put the accent, my guy.
1 minute you're on the pier, enjoying the sunshine. Next minute, whoosh!
He makes a whoosh sound with his breath and a wavy motion with his hands.
Storm clouds, as far as the eye can see. That's just Welly for you, though. You live with the sunshine and the clouds. Where are you from, then? Guessing you're not a Kiwi?
What?
I'm a fox, not a bird.
Oh. Man laughs. A deep belly laugh. Like usual. I'm not sure what I said that was funny.
Not like that. Although those little guys are cute. A Kiwi is a word for us New Zealanders in general.
Oh.
So it's a bird, a fruit, and people.
Sure
You got
is.
it. All three are delightful.
One needs to. Sure.
Anyway, welcome to Wellington. I hope you're enjoying your time here in our little city.
So far I am. I made my den here on the mountain. I've gotten coffee a few times, and I went to the library.
I conveniently leave out my plans for the next time I'm in the library.
Well, I can't say that's the usual tourist experience, but I'm happy to hear that it's working out for you. Staying long?
Probably. I decided to come live here, but I'm still getting to know the place. So, maybe I'll change my mind.
Who knows?
A true free spirit, eh?
Yep.
I felt the same way when I first got here, long time ago.
Ah, cool.
Didn't think I'd settle down for life, but here I am now. Lived more years here than everywhere else in my life.
Huh.
It can't be that long. You don't look very old for a human.
No? Well, that's my ego boost for the day.
That's my ego
You don't
boost.
look very old for a fox either. But I imagine you've got a good head start on me.
That's true. I don't really keep track or think about it, though.
Ah, he laughs again.
Can't say I blame you there. I think 100 years, give or take a little on either side, is enough for me. And I'm only halfway there, so I've got plenty more to look forward to.
That's fair. He stands up, but has to do it slowly.
And sometimes I'm reminded of how many I've got under my belt already.
Ah, yes.
Ah,
Joints.
Thank you for the chat, miss. I better get back to the water now and make sure young Min hasn't fallen into the ocean or anything.
Alright, have a nice...
It's been a real pleasure talking
evening.
with you, though. I hope you'll give our fair town a shot.
Yes. Bye, sir.
Thanks. It was nice talking to you, too.
No ties recommended. But I mean that for sure. I mean that for once. He waves goodbye as he heads down some stone steps, and I keep heading upwards. I never really thought about my age compared to humans. Humans don't matter in my lifestyle. I wasn't lying when I said I don't know how old I am. It's never been important. Places, relationships, memories, they just tie people down. I want to be everywhere! When I reach the top of the mountain, I take a deep breath, crisp air. Wind blows in my hair in every direction, and I can't keep it out of my face. The wind is wild and goes where it wants. It doesn't answer to anyone. That's how I've lived my life too. A free spirit. That's what the man called me. I like the sound of that. I can see the smudges of a few people down by the beach and on the pier. It's one of them. The man I just met. Is one of them the man I just met? I don't know. Up here, there's just tiny little blips, impossible to tell apart from each other. Once I'm on a fill of the view, it's time to get on the way again. I turn my back to the people and start making my way down once more. Library. It is nighttime. Library time. I'm going to save first. That's why not saving is important. Great kiss chiller. A bird, a fruit, and a people. I like that. I love this game. When the moon is high in the sky, I decide it's time. This is the perfect kind of night for me. There's not much wind, meaning you easily hear or smell anyone approaching. It's a little cloudy too, which gives me some cover from the moonlight. I make my way back up to the library, stopping as soon as I'm within sight of it. Find a shadowy place to hide and watch for a few minutes. I go, no one goes in or out. All the windows are dark too. Suddenly creep up towards the entrance, ready to transform and flee if I have to. Nothing happens. No one tries to stop me. Peek into one of the windows, it's dark inside. Can't see anyone at all. I move around to the back side of the building. Check those windows too. Same thing. It's dark and empty.
This is gonna be too easy.
Back at the front door, I pick the lock and slip inside. I sneak from room to room, revisiting the items I memorized yesterday. They're not expensive or fancy enough to think of them as treasures. I end up leaving a lot of them alone, because I don't want to carry too much with me. The rest to go into my coat pockets. Finally, I ended up back at the painting in the corner. The piece that started this whole plan. I have to set a couple of things down on the floor, because the painting needs both hands for me to lift it. It's heavier than it looks, though. It's not very big. Not a good sign for how much it'll be worth. I have to jiggle it a couple of times to get it off the hook, but I manage. Tucking the painting under my one arm, I pick up the other goods on the floor. This should be enough for one night. Let's get in and out quick. I start to head back to the front door where I came in. Before I get there, lights flood the room. My heart starts to race as I immediately prepare to run. I glance over my shoulder, showing my shoulder. A quick glance over my shoulder shows the woman from last night standing at the end of the stairs. Her eyes are glowing blue with anger. She takes a step forward, not seeming to touch the stairs.
Leave that painting alone!
I've got to get out of here now. Throwing caution to the wind, I clutch my spoils tight and charge for the door, trying to make myself as small a target as possible. The painting is too big for me to transform and still hold on to, so I gotta do this on 2 legs.
Stop! Please!
I don't stop. Just like my arrival here, with the guards at the skyport, the thrill of being chased has already taken over. It's exciting and scary at the same time. But either way, it spurs me to move faster. Using my shoulders, I crash out of the front door, into the night. I run as quickly as I can, keeping an eye out for patches of slick mud or puddles of water. The path I take goes far past Mount Victoria, in my den, ending up in a small residential area. I stash the painting under a parked car and then take my fox form and crawl under a house, upsetting a mean gray cat who was already hiding there. It makes a low growling sound, and I glare at it, desperately willing it to be silent before it gives away my position. I growl back as best as I can, and that seems to scare it into shutting up. I'm not sure if I was being followed or not, but I don't want to take any chances. For 10 minutes or so, I climb out, pick up my loot, sneak back towards my den. Now that the excitement has worn off, I just can't keep the smile off my face. There's nothing more satisfying than pulling off a heist, even one as easy as this. Other thieves I've heard about must have had it rough, having to stake out the place for a long time, trying it really hard not to get caught, making sure not to be seen. I've never done much planning, I just do whatever feels right. My ability to transform makes it pretty hard to catch me. I thought I would have had to leave behind the stuff I was taking once, twice. And honestly, it would get boring if I never get caught and had to run. My good mood lasts me all the way home, and then disappears quickly when I see who's waiting for me. A woman in white stands from just outside my den, looking like she doesn't care at all about the cold or the mud. In fact, perfect clothes don't seem to get dirty at all. With her back turned to me, staring up at the moon, but she faces me as I approach. She has the same calm presence as when I first saw her, but I can see a mournful look in her eyes, which have gone back to brown instead of fierce blue. My heart quickens, almost suffocating, as she watches me intently. I know how quickly calm can turn to anger. I should run. I can't look away.
How did you find me here? Before I even got back?
A friend of mine told me you might be found here.
No. That. Her voice is soft and warm, unlike the way she shouted back at the library.
A friend.
But who? I wasn't followed. I'm sure of that much. The shock of being found wearing off, and realization I'll need to find a new place to stay sets in. After all that work, too.
I apologize for showing up uninvited. I'm here to ask that you please return that painting to me. You may keep the frame, if you like. But the painting itself is very dear to me.
I look down at the portrait. I've been carrying it for a while now, but I haven't even gotten the picture itself much thought. Beautiful painting, and clearly very old. The girl shown in it is wearing a long, flowing dress, looking down with a small smile.
And also...
It breathes out slowly, and my eyes narrow. The sound people make when they're acting calm, but they're angry.
Should you want it, I have an extra room available in my library, with a soft bed and a warm meal. You may stay as long as you wish.
Huh?
After I just tried to rob her, she's offering me a place to stay? Okay, now I know this must be a trap. There's no way. Although, the same thing she asked me last night before I broke in. I'm sure she doesn't remember that.
Why?
Because I have more beds than I could possibly fill and more food than I could eat. If there is someone who wants or needs them, is it not appropriate to share these with them?
Is it?
I'm not sure what answer she wants to hear. She looks at me again, the same expression as it was at the library. Well, her offer does sound kind of tempting.
I guess it's not like my place is as nice as yours.
Not anymore, at least. Not after it rained and made half of it mud. I looked down at the painting again. If I sold it, it was just going to be so I could buy the same thing she's offering me. I still don't trust her. I've watched people enough to know better than that. There must be something she wants. But I don't think she wants to hurt me. She knows I don't have anything worth stealing. If you did try to pull something, I could just run away. Only one night, I could come back and try again or find someplace else to take care of. I looked down at the burrow past where she's standing. It looks less a den and more a pile of mud. The thought of sleeping there again practically makes the decision for me.
Fine, I'll take it.
She breathed out slowly, again and smiled. Maybe that sound doesn't mean she's angry?
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. I should introduce myself properly. My name is Juliet. May I ask what yours is?
Miho.
I've had to introduce myself twice in a day now. That must be a new record.
Well, Miho, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Let's return to the library. I can carry the painting if you'd like, or you may hold on to it until we get there.
I shrug.
Here, feel free.
Yeah, this is a cute photo. Boop. Fine. Boink. I should have saved this one. Looks cute. I like it. Got hours, poggers. Okay, I need to figure one. Where am I throwing this? One. Where to throw game photos? Sure. Go up there. Why not? That works. She retrieves it very gently, and I quickly fall in beside her. She begins to walk. As we begin to walk back, to my relief, she doesn't try to make any conversation. Instead, she silently cradles the painting as we go. When we get back to the library, the lights are off and the door's still unlocked. After setting the painting down on the desk, Juliet gestures towards the stairs.
It's on the second floor.
I follow her lead again until she stops at one of the closed doors. She unlocks it and lets me in. The room is simple and cozy with a couple of dressers, a table, and a bed. Over the bed there's a boxy window, a wide sill, big enough to sit on. On the table there's a cheese sandwich with a few apple slices, or some sort of cake. There's also a pitcher of water. Why is there a cheese sandwich on the table?
I hope the food is to your liking. 2 rooms down the hall from here, you'll find a refrigerator, and you may help yourself to anything in there.
Oh shit. Damn, bro.
My study is just past that. If you need anything, don't hesitate to come find me. Is there anything more I can bring for you?
I shake my head, still in disbelief. What am I even supposed to say in a situation like this? I just stole from her, and now I have both a bed and food in return. As if to answer my confusion, she gives a calm smile. It doesn't help.
Then I'll leave you to it. We can speak again in the morning. Good night, Miho.
The door shuts behind her, and I expect to hear Juliet lock it, but when I try to knob after giving her a few moments, the door opens quietly into the dark hall. Juliet's nowhere to be seen. Pull the door back shut behind me and inspect the room. Looking for any hidden treats. I also check the food, sniffing it to make sure there's no poison or anything. If there is, I can't smell it, and so I dig in instead.
Whoa. This is really good.
There's 3 different kinds of cheese in the sandwich. 2 more kinds that I knew existed! The bread is soft and buttery, and then I take a bite of the apple. Juice rolls down my chin. The water that I wash it down with tastes better than the water from the stream from my den. When I'm done eating, I climb into my bed still feeling overwhelmed. More specifically, not knowing how to feel. Part of me fears that I've been made by some gigantic mistake, and that I'll wake up in danger. If I ever wake up at all. So my instincts has kept me alive on multiple occasions for hundreds of years. Enough that I've lost count of exactly how many. But something tells me I don't have anything to fear from the woman who I can only assume is my host, the owner of this place. So with that in mind, I pull the blankets up, my chin, and just the luxury pillows beneath my head. Who knows, maybe the morning will still bring trouble with it. For right now, just sleeping sounds alright. I wake up to the sound of birds chirping loudly outside. Blinking warily, I prop myself up and look towards the warm sunlight beaming through the window. Sheets under my hands feel so soft and dry. My hands go to my neck, taking in the soft familiarity of my neck.
It's still here.
Necklace. Well, if someone was going to rob me, that's the only thing I have that would seem valuable. I sit up and look around. It doesn't look like anyone came in while I was asleep. Maybe I really am safe here. I wonder if Juliet's friend was the scent I noticed outside my den on the first morning. I don't know how else she could have found me. How they did it without waking me up. It happened before. It happened again, as much as I hate to admit it. So I check around the room very thoroughly, but still don't notice anything different from when I came into bed.
Maybe it's not a trick.
All my past experiences have told me that there has to be a catch. Nothing is free. Nothing. But no matter how hard I try, I can't figure out what it could be. Could Juliet really have been telling me the truth? It just seems so unlikely. It'd be nice if it was true. But if I let myself believe, only to be wrong, and then that would hurt even more, wouldn't it? But no. Better to not even take the risk. After all, I've lived a lot of years this way. It's not like I hate it. Making my mind up helps me feel better right away too. It just makes more sense. Even if I tried to stay, I don't think I'd ever stop worrying. This way I'll know for sure I'm in charge of my own destiny. Now that I know this room is unoccupied, I might be able to sneak back in sometime when I need a place to stay. It wouldn't be too hard to climb one of the trees and then go to the window and from there. Take one last look around for just a night. It was nice. It was a nice what if. Then I head downstairs and out the door without speaking a word to anyone. It's another nice day, the same as when I first arrived in Wellington. Warm sun and bright blue sky, with just a hint of clouds. For a while I meander around town, eating the last of my pastries from the convenience store for breakfast. Today feels like another reset. I have no den, no supplies, no anything. It's less exciting than it was when I first arrived. I didn't have a destination in mind, but eventually I ended up at the waterfront. An airship over the bay, descending closer towards the skyport. A couple kids down the beach waving up at it, seemingly excited. The people arriving on that ship all have somewhere that they're planning to go when they get off. Huh. They've all got people waiting to see them. What have I got? Some trash and an old scroll? So far, Wellington's given me nothing but questions. That never bothered me before in any of the other cities I've been to. So why now? Guess it's another question for the pile. I push myself off the railing and head back into town. I go through the motions of scouting for someone to rebuild my den. My heart really isn't in it. After wandering for a while, I end up back at the Bell House yet again. Just the place I go when I have nowhere else to go. There are more customers than usual, so there are two people working behind the counter. It was just a brief glance to notice that one of them is Aspen. Aspen. I wonder if she'll think I'd like the Fairy Kiss Chiller again. Or maybe I'll have a different sort of first impression today. The line moves pretty quickly. It helps that Aspen doesn't spill anything this time. When it's my turn to order, I step up to the counter with a fake smile.
Oh, hello! What can I make for you today?
I'll have a Fairy Kiss Chiller, please.
Ooh.
Certainly. Good choice.
Yes. I reached for my wallet to pay, but she stops me.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's on the house today.
Great!
Why?
What does that mean?
It means that you don't have to pay for it. As an apology for yesterday.
Yesterday? Why does that sound so strange? I nearly miss her talking, my mind having tripped over the word. She reaches for a cup, the pen already in her hand.
And that's for Miho, right?
For Miho?
My name. She remembered my name? My heart begins to race wildly, my body reacting at just as strongly as my mind. Aspen frowns, clearly noticing that something is off. My head's in too much of a daze to deal with it, though.
It is Miho, right?
She checks the notebook on the counter, brow furrowing deeply as her finger slowly moves down the page and taps on one of the lines. What do I say? How do I explain? For the first time in my life, for the first time in hundreds of years, somebody's remembered my name. It's not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be forgotten. Every time, without fail. That's my armor. It's my life. I take a step backwards. I have to run. I have to get out of here. I have to get away. But where to? I've been running. I don't have anywhere else to run to. But I don't have any other choice. Without a plan or destination, I turn on my heel and bolt outside, not daring to look back. Everything is wrong. I have to go.
Miho!
She calls my name again as I disappear into the streets. It's not the first time I've heard that as I fled. But never like this. Never with such a confused, worried tone. Feeling sick to my stomach, I push myself to run even faster. Maybe I should just leave this whole city, get the next airship out here and act like I never happened. I could go somewhere else, back to China or America or somewhere, start over again. Within days, I feel like I never even came to Wellington. My life could go back to normal, and eventually I'm sure Aspen and Juliet would forget me just like they're supposed to. Nothing would be different. Except, that's not quite true. I wouldn't forget what happened here, even if everyone else did. No matter what, I'm sure I won't ever be able to get back these past few days out of my mind. When I get to Mount Veronica, Victoria, I finally stopped running. And because this place is special, because I wanted to come here, but because I don't know where else I'd go, I'm making my way up to the top of the mountain, just like I did on my first day. The view, which I admired so much last time, doesn't do much for me. Now, instead, the city looks cluttered and confused from up here. My chest hurts running so long. I'm much more used to quick bursts, sprinting to get away from something or someone. I guess that's still what I'm trying to do right now. But I'm not too sure what it is that I'm running from. Whenever something goes wrong, my first instinct is to flee. Aspen remembered me. Definitely counts as something wrong. But when I stop to think about it, why? Some of the reasons are obvious. Mostly, what if it's not just Aspen? What if someone else remembers me now? Or even worse, what if people forget about me a long time ago start to remember me? Both could get me in a lot of trouble. My days as a thief would probably be over. There are some places where I could never show my face again. The smart thing to do is to leave. I would even see a couple I can even see a couple airships right now. I have everything on with me. I could just go. There's nothing keeping me here. And yet, I don't move. I still don't even know what it is that I'd be running away from. From Aspen? From Wellington? I think about it. When I think about it, I have to admit that running wouldn't get me anywhere. This worry, these questions would follow me wherever I go, no matter how far, no matter how long. So, what do I do? The only answer I could think of is the scariest one. The one that goes against everything I've ever learned. Closing my eyes, I picture the library and Juliet's offer. I picture Aspen, who I barely know, but she's already changed my life. Maybe I should stay and try to find out more. Maybe, just maybe, being remembered might not be all bad. I clenched my fists so tight my knuckles turned white. The urge to turn tail and head for the skyport is so strong it's almost like a magnet pulling me there. I resisted though. Slowly, I walked back down the mountain, making my way to the library. I'm not sure what to say when I get there. Explain everything to Juliet and hope that she'll let me stay there and stay in that room again? I don't even need the room. I could rebuild my den and hide out there, maybe in a new spot, one that Juliet doesn't know about. Not having to worry about the weather or other animals would be nice though. There's no telling if Juliet will remember me too. If not, it'd be easier to pretend this is my first time visiting and just ask if there's anything anywhere I could stay. Even though I'm not moving very fast, I just don't feel ready for this conversation by the time I reach the library's entrance. It's only been an hour or so since I left the Bell House, so it's not late enough for the library to be closed. The usual stream of people flow in and out of the doors.
Okay, I can do this.
I stand off to the side of the entrance, preparing myself as people pass to and fro. My heart is racing the same way it does during a tense break-in, maybe even harder. My tail twitches back and forth. Usually I don't notice, but right now I'm super aware of everything about myself. Fighting off my instincts, I opened the door and let myself in. I've been expecting to look for Juliet, but instead she's right by the entrance. What surprised me most, however, is the woman leaning against the large desk beside her. Aspen, who's been engaged in conversation with a look of deep concern on her face.
She wasn't there when I checked the bedroom. I wish she would have spoken to me first, at least.
I barely catch the end of Juliet's sentence. She notices me only moments after I spot her, and for a second her mouth forms a perfect O of surprise.
Juliet? What are you...
Aspen turns around to follow Juliet's gaze, her eyes open wide at the sight of me.
Miho!
My brain goes blank. Rehearsed lines flying out of my head.
Hey there.
I slink over there, and they're standing hands in my... They're standing, hands in my pockets, unsure what I should say first.
It's nice to see you again, Miho. I was hoping that you'd return.
Me too. That was pretty sudden. I worked extra hard on that drink for you, you know.
I freeze up, looking for the words. Aspen's expression softens in concern.
Miho?
Alright, the drink. I'm sorry.
Well, I ended up drinking it myself, so I suppose I can't complain too much.
Ha 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 ha. She laughs, and I can't stop myself from blurting out my next words.
You seem different.
I'm sorry?
Like, less polite?
Well, I'm not at work anymore, am I?
What am I even saying? What was I planning on saying it again?
Will you be staying for a while, Miho?
Ooh, shifting. Cool. That's cool.
If so, we can continue this conversation in the dining room. It's a bit more private there.
Sure is. Less awkward. Thank you, Juliet. She sends me a raised eyebrow when I accidentally sigh in relief a bit too loudly.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. I'm not gonna run away again.
I'm glad to hear that. Right this way, then.
Oh, this is cool. I like this. I think I like this game. Yeah, it leads the way down the hall and into one of the locked rooms. We enter a cozy little room with a table and a few chairs, as well as a fridge. 3 of us sit down, although I move my chair, so I'm not so close to the others.
Can I get you anything to eat or drink, Miho?
I shake my head. I'm hungry, but I'm way too nervous to eat. Juliet smiles in response to my answer, which came a little too quickly to sound natural. By the way, not both of she and Aspen are looking at me. I can tell they're expecting me to say something first. None of the words that I planned are coming back to me. What do people even say in situations like this? The temptation to run away is overwhelming. The door is just a few feet behind me. My knuckle was whitened as I clenched my fists in my lap, pushing myself to resist the urge. I told myself that I'm going to take this chance, even if it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm going to be honest with them.
Well...
I struggle to think of what to say. Juliet waits patiently, her gaze. Her eyes gazing coolly in my direction more than directly at mine. Aspen soon grows restless, however, her expression clouded with concern.
Sorry. I don't know how to just say things. I've only ever copied other people's, so I...
Aspen's expression clears up in some sort of understanding.
It's okay, Miho. Take your time.
So I... don't really know how to... talk like this.
You're doing just fine.
If you
They're
say so.
Cute. All 3 of these people are so cute. I love them.
It's not just talking either. I don't know much about anything. Well, anything human. all I really know about is being a fox. And all we foxes care about is how to survive. It might be hard to believe, but I'm not a normal fox either. There's something kinda special about me. Kinda different.
I figure the beads around my neck. Their constant warmth and presence is reassuring. I avoid looking at either Aspen or Juliet's face. What else?
Usually, I have to steal to get by. I don't just have to, I like to. I'm good at it too. That's how I ended up meeting Juliet. And the reason I'm so good at it is because I don't know why it happens, but ever since I got my human form, everyone forgets me. Even the people who catch me stealing from them. After a day or two, I can walk right past their face and they wouldn't even recognize me. No one has ever recognized me. Until Aspen remembered who I was at the Bell House. It was such a shock that I ran away. That's what I always do. I was thinking about leaving Wellington forever, even though I just arrived a couple days ago. I'm still kind of tempted. But instead, I came back here. And that's it.
Just hearing the words coming out of my mouth makes me want to die of embarrassment. It makes me uncomfortable when other people think about me. And yet, putting everything out there feels surprisingly good. It feels like a weight has come off my shoulders. There's no going back now. There's a relief in its own way.
So you're saying that you've never ever had a family? Or a friend?
Nope, never. And not since I stopped being a regular fox, at least.
Oh. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Why?
Well, because that's... not to be rude, but that sounds rather lonely to me.
Lonely, huh? I've never thought about it before.
I see.
Aspen sits back, still looking concerned. From the way she keeps fidgeting, I get the impression that she wants to say more, but it's holding back. Juliet swoops in to salvage the situation.
You have been very brave to stay here, Miho. I'm personally glad that you decided to come back to the library. I had your room prepared in hopes that you would.
Oh, sweet.
You're welcome to use it for as long as you'd like. I think that we could become great friends.
Who was the first person?
Friends.
Where's the first person I met? Where'd she go? I roll the words around in my mind as if it was a strange food I'm gingerly trying. Is that a word that fits me? Is that something I could... Ow! It's never seemed like a possibility before. None of what Juliet's offered me has. Right now, it feels like I'm standing in the end of one path, in the beginning of another. I turn around and go back the way I came. I could turn around and go back the way I came, back to the den and a life spent alone. I know that world. I've lived in that for so many years. But I can't just go back. Not now. Not when there can be something more, something new. Everything could be different if I just let it. When I look at Aspen and Juliet, I can tell what they're hoping I'll say.
I think I'd like that.
Big smiles take over both their faces. Slowly I let myself smile too.
Well then, Miho. Welcome home.
Is that it? Does that end it? Ah! Thank you so much for playing the demo. Please be happy. We'd love to hear what you thought about our game. Please consider taking our very short feedback survey. We couldn't do this without you. Take care. Survey time! Open the server in your browser? Yes. Browser time. Survey time! Augers. It's so fun, I like it. Push listed. Fun, I like it. I'm excited. It's only a demo. I'm excited for what's to come next. I'm gonna take this survey off screen, obviously. But I guess that's the end of it. That's it. Yeah, that's everything. The game is finished. Not much else to do. I'll go to the tab real quick, see if anything. Oh wait, there's nothing there, but you know, might as well check. Who the fuck were the first person I met though? Extras.
Oh, what's in here?
Chapter. Blend in. Reading it. Who was the first bartender? Room. Notes. Toxic Fable, new arrival on the streets. Okay, done. Cool. That was fun. That was very enjoyable. I'm excited for 99 completion. Huh? I missed something. What did I miss? Did I not? Is it me not going back to the den? I bet it's me not going back to the den. Press the studio at a dedicated to their dear friend Penta. All these cool people. Amazing lead artists, hell yeah. Voice cast. Like incredible voice, happy, hell yeah. They're great voices, great voice actors, amazing. I love the game. I'm gonna be taking their short feedback survey real quick. Hold on. Off screen, obviously, because I don't want to actually talk to myself. But like, yeah, it was fun. Let's see if I can raid. If I could raid someone, but I don't know. Another thing. Anyone. None of my friends are currently streaming. So that's shame. I'm not playing this game. This is a fun game. I liked it. I don't know. I just end it here. Yeah, I'm just. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in. You should get this game. I might block the name. You know, this is a cool game. It's great. I loved it. You should go invest time. Wishlist the game. It's on Steam. The demo's free. You know, you already watched me play the demo already, but still, go for it. It's cool. That's me. Have a nice night. Goodbye. Very awkward sign-offs.